Subscribe to Breakthrough Gaming and get your chance to win a copy, limited copy, Last of Us 2, which I'm not in.
Hello, man.
Here you go, buddy.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Keep watching.
Welcome everyone to Breakthrough Gaming. In today's The Last of Us Part 2 video, I have some information that just came in, and truth be told, this information got me even more excited for The Last of Us Part 2. Now, we all know that The Last of Us Part 2 is going to be a game about detail, a game about having more options, more interaction with the environment, and this is something that's been well established amongst all Naughty Dog developers and employees. With that said, here we have co-director Anthony Newman for The Last of Us Part 2, and in a recent interview, he quite literally spilled the beans and told us a lot of information on how the gameplay mechanics of The Last of Us Part 2 are going to work. Now, I know most of you guys only cared about the release date. I know a lot of you guys only care about playing the game. You don't really care about the mechanics. But what you guys need to understand is that the mechanics is precisely what creates the game. What you do mission to mission is essentially going to, when combined, create the entire experience. So by me getting these news, I think that I should go ahead and share it with everyone. It is very important, and I think it's going to create a lot of more happiness and a lot of more hype when it comes to The Last of Us Part 2. So I'm going to quote here Anthony Newman. He stated, "I'm not sure if you noticed, but as Ellie sprints around and then she settles, she'll kind of catch her breath," explains Newman. What's happening behind the scenes is that Ellie has a heart rate that is oscillating up and down. It goes up when you sprint, it goes up when you melee, it goes up when you take damage, and it goes up into the presence of enemies. So before I even finish that, guys, what Anthony Newman just stated is that when Ellie is near enemies and when Ellie is near opponents, her heart rate literally goes up. That is so amazing. It's so realistic that they took the time to implement these features. And that's not all of it. Ellie isn't the only one with a working heart rate. Let me say that one more time. Ellie, as a character that we're going to be playing with, is not the only one that has a working heart rate. What does Newman mean by this? Well, Ellie has a lot of allies and a lot of enemies. We have the infected as well. The infected, including clickers, bloaters, and God knows what else, also have a heart rate meter. So the amount of depth that this is going to add to the fighting mechanic aspect of The Last of Us Part 2, the amount of intricacy that we're going to be having. Imagine yourself walking in the middle of a map or mission for The Last of Us Part 2, and then you crouch and you hide when it comes to you spotting an enemy or a clicker. You're not just hiding from them, you're able to see if they notice you, you're able to see if they're suspicious, you're able to see how they feel, you're able to see if they're nervous. All that due to the heart rate meter. That, in my opinion, is amazing. And let me continue here with the quote. "But Ellie isn't the only one with a working heart rate. According to Newman, Ellie's allies and enemies will also be reacting and breathing differently depending on the actions they're performing. And this extends to The Last of Us Part 2's infected roster of clickers, bloaters, and God knows what else. It's been incredible because I found myself able to play cat and mouse with clickers better than ever, 'cause I can kind of understand them by the noises that they're making," says Newman. And the humans will do the same thing with breathing and sprinting and stuff. Now, this is a direct quote from Anthony Newman, and it is amazing, guys. I know most of you guys don't really care about the gameplay, or I should say, you guys don't care about the details of the gameplay. You only want to play the game. You want to, just get a release date. Everybody was so excited for a release date. Finally, we got it. But what people need to understand is that, you wanting to play a game and just skimp through it and enjoy it to its fullest by sitting back and watching someone play it almost like a movie, that's fine. I respect that. But for a lot of people, they really want to have the intensity, the adrenaline rush, the emotion behind this game. And this element alone is going to add so much realism to The Last of Us Part 2. And that's amazing, guys. That's amazing. The truth is that even though you might not really care about the details, what we do day to day essentially dictates our entire life. Well, the same principle applies to this game. Chapter after chapter, level after level. If we have to same old mechanics as The Last of Us Part 1, it'd get pretty boring. You would feel like you're playing the same exact game again, just a little bit better graphics. But small things like that, including the engine change, which, by the way, yes, we have a completely upgraded engine for The Last of Us Part 2. All those things combined are going to create a marvelous experience. It's going to create something that, without a doubt, it's going to leave a lot of people speechless. And we're already seeing it. The Last of Us Part 2 quite literally broke every single record in terms of pre-orders when it comes to any other game that's been released in 2019, and you can look that up online. I'm excited, and I can't wait to play this game, guys. Thank you so much for watching. My name is Breakthrough Gaming, your #1 source for The Last of Us Part 2, and don't forget that we are hosting a giveaway for 30 copies of The Last of Us Part 2. More information will be found in the description.
You know, I took out a runner over here, she took out another on the other side. So she's definitely there to help in that capacity, and never like, the same thing with Ellie, she never gets in the way, she's never like, I'm over here guys, and gets you killed.
So it's a seamless kind of companion.
Yes, but in the way that Ellie is different from Joel control-wise, she can jump. She has a jump button,
Okay.
Which, one, it plays a lot into traversal. I saw a little bit of it, but more buildings have second levels that you can get to. Like you can climb on top of a truck to get on top of an awning to get into a second story level. You can more nimbly get around environments to go hide behind things and whatnot. That was obviously a big part as you were playing as Joel, but because Ellie has that jump, she has a little bit more reach, including when if you get a running start, your jump is longer than if you just hit the jump.